Welcome to the Warband, a World of Warcraft podcast. Swag is sick. Chicken is going to have to talk a lot today. And we're going to be having a little bit of a housing competition for anyone interested. But you'll find out more about that later. Chicken, dude, how are you doing?
That sounded like one of those like candid like openings that like would always play before it would be like before like a radio show almost. Like, today we're gonna talk about this, this, and this, but you gotta wait for that. And then it would play like the welcome to Swag and Chicken on AMZ radio. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, AMZ radio. Is that like anti-Magic Zone
radio? Yes.
Perfect. That's how we're gonna compete with Azeroth Morning Radio AMR. We're gonna have
radio.
The anti-Magic Zone radio show, and it's basically gonna be all about how casters suck and DKs are awesome.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
hey,
dude. We're gonna do like prank phone calls. We're gonna do like prank phone calls on people who play like mages, like X, who's been on the podcast, or J Rob, and just be like, I don't know, making fun of them or something.
Hey, I mean, I'm for it. Like, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll just prank phone call the mages. That's right. You can catch us on our second podcast, Anti-Magic Zone. That's actually it. No, I'm not going to lie. That's actually kind of a sick podcast name.
I know. It kind of is, actually. Yeah, I was thinking that earlier.
Kind of is. Yeah, I don't even remember we were going. Oh, I don't know why I did the intro different. I just did because I'm sick and I feel sick. And I'm trying to mute myself every time I have to sneeze.
And mute yourself just in general whenever you're not talking. It's okay. You did ask how things are going, and I was getting ready to say everything that I was going to say.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, it's going pretty good. Just to sum up a little bit. Yeah, it's some good time with the holidays. You know, I always get some time off between Christmas and New Year's, and I tend to take like a little extended vacation. So I haven't worked for like 2 weeks, and we're recording this Sunday before it comes out. And I got to go to work tomorrow, and I'm like, it's going to be weird, but it'll be all right.
Yo, I feel that way. I feel that way. I've been like mostly off work the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird coming back tomorrow for like a normal work week. Because like last week I came in on Wednesday and did like some setup. But I will also say though, dude, I don't know if you've ever done this. I do this sometimes at work where I know that taking a whole week off gives me extra stress because then I really have to make sure things don't fall apart from Sunday to Sunday. And so sometimes I'll like have one work day during the week that I'll just go in. And it relieves some stress for me because it's just like, okay, I can go in, do a couple things, and then now I don't have to worry about it until I walk back in later. But then what ends up happening is I go in on that day. So like last week it was Wednesday. I went in on Wednesday. I knew there was a little bit of an event going on, so I wanted to be there for that. And also to set some things up. And so in my mind, I was like, if I get these 3 things done, I'm good. Like if I can get these 3 things done before I go home, I'm like in the clear. I don't have to stress. Everything's going to be relaxed until Sunday. And sure enough, dude, you walk in and your boss is like, yo, I got 20 things I need you to get done today because you're only in today. And I'm like, God dang it, why'd I even come in? I should have just taken it off.
Yeah, I never do that. Although I did work with a guy that did like a similar thing. Yeah, that he would only work for like a day and then take like the rest of the week off and like go on vacation. And then like he would come in like a day later the next week.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm like, I'm just going to take the whole week off. Like,
yeah, I think it depends on the job though, right? Yeah.
What'd you say?
I think it depends on the job because like my job is like
I'm
always prepping, right? I'm always prepping for that next week, and so yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't necessarily work a job where it's like if I'm not there, it doesn't get done, right?
Yeah.
Like my job, if I'm not there, it still gets done. It's just your team
members have to kind of cover.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
That totally makes sense.
It'll be good going back. I did enjoy Christmas, New Year's. Had a lot of fun with the family. Did a lot of stuff. This was like the first Christmas that I feel like my son like kind of actually knew like what was going on.
Like could actually like understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, like he had not necessarily like fully understanding, but he was like more like into it. Like before, it's just like, oh, here's random gifts that you need to open, and he's like, oh, okay.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know what I will say, and not really WoW related, but maybe one day we'll get him playing WoW. But what I will say is I was surprised. My wife and I were doing some questing and we were in voice chat. We were in the podcast voice chat that we use for recording the podcast. And I see you pop in, but instead of you talking, all of a sudden it's your son. And I see him in person all the time. I see your son a lot. At least once a week, often twice a week I see your son. And every time I see him, he's so shy. Like he's excited, he's happy, but like I don't know. I don't know how kids work, dude. I mean I worked with teenagers for a long time, but not with like young kids. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, oh, he probably just like doesn't speak whole sentences yet or anything. But sure enough, no, on that Discord voice chat, he was yapping. He was talking.
No, he can hold a conversation pretty well. It's just he's strange. Like weirdly enough, like if you approach him, he's like, oh, like it almost like sets him off. But then like he'll walk up to complete strangers in the store and just be like, hey, how's it going? And I'm just like, Lincoln, we have no idea who that is.
He has to build up the confidence, you know.
But then, like, we happened to see, like, one of our neighbors at, like, Aldi the other day, and he was like, oh, hi, Lincoln. And my son just looked at him like, who are you? He knew he was, because after I was like, did you know who that was? And he was like, oh, yeah, that was so-and-so. I was like, why didn't you say hi then? He was just like, I don't know. Okay. Interesting. But, yeah. So, yeah, it was a good Christmas.
Good.
So, it was fun. You know, Christmas is always fun. But I've been back on the grind, baby. I'm trying to get that KSL before we can't no longer, which we'll get into those dates and all that.
Yeah, how close are you right now?
In a minute. I determined it earlier. I need 3 to 4 dungeons. That's how close I am.
Oh wow.
And I was on such a great pace. Like I was like, nothing can stop me. Like nobody's gonna slow me down. Like I'm moving. And then Swag came in and was like, oh, like I don't know how you're doing this, but like you're just on such a great pace, and like you must have like I don't know, like you're just so on the ball.
Are you trying to blame me for your failures?
No. Wait. And then ever since you said that, I've bricked like every single key that I've gotten into.
Dude, I'm telling you, I know you were so confident. I'm telling you, bro, once you hit the 12s and 13s range, pugs are horrendous, especially at this point. Especially this point in the season.
They were all 12s, and I've not run anything other than a 12 and 13. That 13 that we got in was kind of rough, but I've timed like at least 2 13s and a couple 12s in pugs, and I haven't had problems. It's Floodgate, dude. I don't know what it is. I've ran 4 Floodgates, and I've yet to time one. I have no idea what it is.
Interesting. I like Floodgate.
Each time I get into a dungeon, it's like it's something different. Like it's either just like too many deaths for the DPS. I'll admit, like there's been a couple where I'm like, I just need to pull a little bit bigger, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if it's just the DPS just aren't pumping as hard. Like I have no idea what it is, but I Floodgate is cursed. It is literally cursed.
I mean, Floodgate does have a little mechanical awareness. I think that has to exist. And what I find at this point in the season, a lot of that mechanical awareness from players is a lot more muted, I guess you could say. A lot more muted than it would be earlier in the season. And I don't know, are you running into that? Are you running into like finding a lot of players in your groups while you're pugging right now that just surprisingly for the key level don't actually do mechanics?
Oh yeah. Like there's like in Floodgate when you pull like there's specific pools where there's just like a ton of kicks and they're just like free casting, and I'm like, does no one know how to do a kick or anything like a stun, anything? And there's just constant free casting, and that was the last one I ran, and like that one was really bad because like I knew after the second boss, like, that we weren't going to time that dungeon. And like, we were getting towards the end and they were like, Tank, like, you got to pull more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no offense. Like, I knew from the second boss that we weren't going to time this dungeon. So no offense. I'm not going to like try to go overboard.
Then you
like,
look
it took
bad,
us
right?
like,
Then you look bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it took us 5 minutes to take down Mother, and I was like, "There's no way we time this." No way.
Oh, was that the screenshot I saw you post? I don't remember if you sent it to me or you posted it somewhere.
Yeah, I posted it in Discord where like I'm literally doing like 80% of the damage of the DPS, and I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, there's like don't get me wrong. I think, and this has been a debate we've had forever. I think maybe like 50 to maybe 70% is probably a good balance for what a tank should do versus a DPS. But like, there's no way that during boss fights I should be doing as much, if not more. There was two of the boss fights I definitely did more than a handful of the DPS. I'm like, this should not be happening. Like,
especially in like a 12 or 13.
Yeah, this was a 13, and we ended up leaving it right before the last boss. I'm like, guys, why don't we just kill the last boss and get crests? Whatever. I literally told the group, I was like, I knew we weren't timing this after the second boss. Like, the DPS just is not there. Like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. That is tough. That is very tough. Yeah, and I mean, I agree, right? Because you've heard me talk about it before plenty. Like, I think tanks should do good damage. Like, the ideal tank damage is like, hey, you're better than a bad DPS, but a good DP you'll never beat a good DPS, right? Like that's like ideal, right? Like that a great tank is better than like an DPS, but will never be better than like a good DPS ever. And not even like a great DPS, just like a good DPS, right?
Yeah, like a average DPS even.
Yeah, but that's not what you were facing, right? What you were facing was like you were doing, I think it looked like 80% of like the DPS of what the other DPSs were doing on average. It seemed like on their average you were doing 80%.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And especially for like a plus 13, because that's tough, because when you see that happening, I think this brings up another conversation, and I'll talk soon about what I've been up to, because some fascinating things, but it brings up the conversation of weight of responsibility, and more so the perceived, let's call it that, the perceived weight of responsibility. And so towards the end of the dungeon, you're talking about how they're trying to rush you along, right? Oh, tank, pull bigger, like we gotta go faster, pull bigger. And the problem is, if you pull bigger and you wipe because you pulled too much, again, you know what these DPS are capable of. A good tank judges pretty quickly in a dungeon what they can and cannot get away with, right? Like, if I'm going slow, it's not because like I'm trying to go slow, or not because I'm accidentally going slow. Like, I'm trying to go slow, right? I was in a M0, and I'll explain more later, but I was in an M0 this week just helping out some guildies, and one of the healer was like joking. He's like, or somebody was joking. One of the players was joking, because I told him ahead of time, like, hey guys, we're gonna go slow in here. One of the players is actually learning Mythic for the first time, so I don't want to like scare them. I'm in voice chat. I'm explaining it to them. And about halfway through the dungeon, one of the team members just comments and goes, "If this is Swag going slow through a dungeon, I don't want to see what he does during a real key."
Oh dang!
Right. Like if I'm going slow, it's not because I'm afraid of pulling too much. It's because I'm afraid you can't handle me pulling too much. Right? Like they're two different things, and you judge that. But back to that conversation of perceived responsibility. You know, if a tank pulls too much, if you had pulled too much and the group wiped, they would have been like, Tank, what did you do? You pulled too much, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You now would have had the ownership of bricking that key, right? Or if you go into a dungeon and like players just aren't surviving like the AoE damage going out, they're going to blame the healer. The healer's going to get blamed, right? Easily. DPS, though, live in this weird world where two things are happening. One, it's harder to perceive the weight of DPS responsibility. You nailed it when you talked about things just dying slow, right? Like the reality is, especially bosses and trash packs, they just die slow. And the longer a trash pack is alive, the harder it is to pull big. Because if you pull too big and it stays alive for way too long, you're burning through your healer's cooldowns, you're burning through mana, you're burning through your own survivability, right? Like, and now you're just taking risks that you don't need to take. It becomes a whole deal. So one, even though DPS, having low DPS do affect your ability to time the key or even survive in some cases, it doesn't always feel like a DPS thing, right? It starts to feel like, oh, well, the tank's going too slow. The tank needs to go faster. Well, the tank can't go faster because the DPS aren't DPSing, right? Or, oh, the healer's struggling to keep up with us. No, the healer's doing a great job, but you took so dang long to kill this pack that the healer's out of mana. Like, they just can't do nothing about that. And, so that perceived responsibility. But then, so that's the first thing, right? But the second thing is also there's 3 DPS. So if DPS is low, if there's like one super notable player, you can kind of pass blame a little easily. And I think maybe it's toxic to do that. Like, I don't like, no matter who it is, I don't like just calling people out publicly by name, right? That's not my thing. I'll reach out and be like, hey, I see you're struggling with this. Is there anything I help with? But in the key itself, there's no value to me calling them out, right? Unless I'm like, oh, they're missing something. I can point this out to them. I want them to be able to complete that key, not be stressed out or panicking. At that point, if we're not going to time it, we're not going to time it, right? I'm not gonna unlock some secret for this dude in the key just because I commented, you dumb, question mark, right? And so, but again, having 3 DPS kind of shares responsibility. Like in the screenshot you sent, it was a shared responsibility because all of them were kind of doing just barely above you on the meter, and so those two things, right? The it's hard to quite gauge the actual impact of DPS if you're not aware, and 2, it's hard to it's right, like they kind of share responsibility amongst 3 of them. And so I would even argue that sometimes attributes maybe to the tank and healer shortages, because I don't think tank gameplay is boring. Like, I don't think tank gameplay is boring. I do think the most stressful part about tank, though, is if you mess up, everyone will know you messed up, right?
Oh, yeah.
No one knows if you mess up as a DPS. I mean, in the high levels when people are tracking all that info, sure. But, like, even at the 12 level, no, like, people just don't know. They're just like, oh, well, that was weird.
They can easily blame aggro. They could just be like, aggro. Yeah. You're just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, nobody knows how to go through the detail logs at that key level. It's what it is. And so, I think it's easy for DPS to kind of slide into that. And I'm not complaining about DPS necessarily, but just that acknowledging that and recognizing that helps understand why there is a shortage of tanks and healers, right? DPS don't feel that way. You just get this, right? And again, though, a good group, all those players understand the responsibility they have and the weight that they play for their group. But we're not talking about a good, coordinated, strong group. We're just talking about like an average pug group for like a plus
average
12,
Joe
right?
group. Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little rant.
No, it's good. It's true, and I'm kind of. I feel like I was on such a good groove. Like I'm pretty sure I got close to like 300 rating in like a couple days, and now I'm just kind of like stuck after running like the same dungeon like 4 times, literally 4 times, and missing timing it by like minutes, sometimes seconds.
If you get a 12 or 13 floodgate in your bag, look, we can put a big pumper group together.
See, that's like I was just about to say something about that here. Yeah. Like I know I need like 3 to 4 dungeons depending on what I run, and obviously they need to be like a little more specific if it's going to be 3. And like I'm probably going to give it next weekend to see if I can still kind of do it. I might reach out to some people and just say like, hey, like, can you help me out a little bit? Like at least like kind of tag along with me for like a dungeon or 2. And I might do that, but like the following weekend, when it's like, hey, I got like a couple days left to do this, then I might just be like, okay, let's just see if we can get a group together and just grind out a couple. Yeah.
I won't be around that weekend, by the way. I'm going up to a cabin to play D&D, so.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll be around next weekend.
I'm sure I can find a healer, to be honest.
Wow, okay. Wow. Actually, low-key, though, our guild, and a lot of them actually, I think, have come from the podcast and our podcast listeners. We have some, like, fun people to run keys with. I can be a little antisocial sometimes, surprisingly. Like, if you know me, you think, oh, Swag is like the most social dude. Like when he pops into VC, he commands the voice chat and like chats a lot and yaps. And I'm a professional yapper, but I will also say like I also isolate a lot. Like I just like being by myself. Once I like commit to jumping into something, I'll keep the party alive. But I'm a fake extrovert. I'm truly an introvert.
Yeah.
But we have some awesome people from the guild and from the podcast who've been helping out. Dudes like Vlan and Travo and Rack and Rasta and some others I've had a great experience doing dungeons with. And some of them probably be surprised, like, wow, I feel like I ran 2 keys with swag. Those are such high praise. Yeah, I don't run keys with people that often. Usually a pug. I'm really bad about it because like usually for me it's like I don't know when I'm gonna hop on and like have that time. And so when I do, right, when I pop on, I'm just like, well, whoever's on, that's what I'm doing. Probably pugging.
Like, I don't want to like, because I have limited time to play, and it's very like specific timing.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to like conform. Like, hey, like I can only play from like 8 to 9, so like I need people to be available. And it's like, that's kind of crappy. Yeah. So
okay, question for you. I want to ask a question. Because I kind of wrestled with this one for a second. This season. Because pushing to KSL definitely pushed me harder as a player than I'd been pushed. And I pugged a bunch of those keys. But the last few keys I ran for KSL, I ran with like friends or guildmates and stuff.
Yeah.
And there were some big pumpers, right? Some of them were people who run keys much higher than what I was trying to run there. And part of me was like, oh, am I just being carried, right? Like, which, to be fair, it's hard to get carried as the healer, right? Like that's probably
fair.
That's probably the one role that like is a hard role to just like carry that.
Yeah.
I think I actually played well. I think I kept up and played very well. And so I'm happy with how I played. Like I'm very happy with how I played. I think I earned it fully, truly 100% earned KSL. I worked hard for it.
Yeah.
And it was good and it was a challenge. But also at the end of the day, this is still an RPG. And that's part of the game I think we forget about a lot is the RPG element. And there's certain things in an RPG that are helpful. Namely making allies and making friends, right? And like to me it's like, yeah, that's a part of the experience, right? Like part of it is being able to find those people like, yeah, these are strong fighters that like I've come to know over my adventures on Azeroth. And now they're helping me get this dungeon done. I don't know. It's fun to think about that way.
Yeah. I agree, and I was gonna preface like, oh, like I feel like me saying like I'm just gonna have to get a group together, kind of makes it seem like I am getting carried, but I don't feel like I'm getting carried in any way. Like I've definitely like the highest key that I've run so far is a 13, and that was a purely pug group. So I don't think it's necessarily a carry. I think it's more just. It's easier when you have a coordinated group of people that you know are going to be good. And it's also just like a wise thing too. Like, it's like, hey, these guys, you know, they know a lot more about the game than I do.
And just being able to communicate too, like live communication.
And doing that kind of stuff, yeah.
Which is actually, you know what's funny to think about? It's funny to think about how freaking important communication is in WoW. And yet how not a single soul in this game ever uses the built-in voice chat.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's because it's so bad. Like,
I've never used it.
Good.
I've never used it, so I couldn't tell you.
I've used it one time because I thought it was like a meme. Like, I literally thought it was a meme. Like, someone was like, oh, let's use the in-game voice chat. And I was like, okay. Like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is a real thing. Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of like that should be the norm more than not. And I know there's probably people listening who are like, dude, Swag, I really don't want to go talk to 4 random people just to run a key. And I get that. At that point, you can just mute, right? Just mute, whatever, who cares? But
no, I agree.
It does feel like, especially as you push up into that, like that 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. I had a chuckle. You asked me to heal 13 or 12 or something this week. I was a 13, and I remember just being like, because it's been a couple weeks. It's been like 2, maybe 3 weeks since I last like played my healer in anything remotely serious, right? Mostly just doing housing, or if I'm doing dungeons, been playing my Blood DK a little bit here and there. And I'm just like, I don't know, 13 might push a little bit. And you just like look at me like, Swag, you've done a 15. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, but in my brain, I had like forgotten that I had timed both a 15 and a 14. And so in my brain, when you asked me that, I was like, because I don't know, I've never gone that high for a season. So I was thinking like, oh, yeah, the best I've done is a 13. I don't know, maybe I can't keep up or something. But no, I was very happy with my results. That group was a little weird, though. I didn't love the group.
That's the key that we bricked, and then we turned out to get like a guild group together, and then we like two-chested it. Yeah, that's like, because I had that Magic Mike guy that literally was like,
oh my gosh.
The Mog was literally just a character with no clothes on, and they had just like a pole
big pole,
for a staff.
a big pole.
And they were terrible. Like, but
horrendously bad.
They had like a 3,300 rating, and they died like 4 times. And we just cleared the first boss, and we were like, "There's no way we timed this," and we ended up forfeiting the group. But it was clear, like, I was like, dude, how does this guy have a 3,300 IO, but he's died 4 times before we've even made it to the first boss?
Oh, and so, also let me clarify, because I was healing, right? And we're in Dawnbreaker. And I know
it was all Swag's fault.
I know Dawnbreaker has some big like AoE moments going out. No, guys, I was watching this dude stand and stuff. I'm like watching his health go from like 60% HP as I'm like about to hit him with a heal, and all of a sudden it just goes to 0. I'm like, yo, what?
He's just dead. Yeah.
And I like right, and then I'm like watching. So from that point, I'm watching like, yo, what's going on here? And I'm watching him like just stand in like circles and crap and get blown to pieces. I was like, oh no.
You're just like, what is this? What are you doing? Like, come on.
Yep.
So I get so frustrated with people in this game because it's like seriously, like what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, it's tough because also I do know, like, I know that this is the time in the season where people who have been too nervous to try things feel the pressure of the clock ticking down and want to try it, or maybe they finally got some gear and they feel comfortable. They've had all season to kind of feel it out. And so I want people to feel like have that. I want people to be able to feel that and have that. At the same time, there was something that just didn't make sense about this Magic Mike guy. The rating was really high. The damage was low. Like, I was out damaging this guy a bunch.
Okay.
Right? No, I wasn't actually. I'm just teasing.
As a healer.
Yeah, I wasn't actually. But I think you were. I think you were close, if not passing it sometimes, right? Like, no damage, constantly standing and stuff. Which, by the way, if it was just low damage, I could maybe be like, oh, maybe they're trying a different spec that they're not. They're trying a different spec that they're not familiar with, right?
Yeah, I'd forgive that.
But both of those together kind of almost felt like they just didn't know what they're doing almost at all.
What are you doing?
And yeah, it does make you wonder, right? Like, was he carried? Was he not carried? How did he get that rating? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to make an assumption. I just think the fascinating part of that whole experience wasn't you and I going, wow, this guy's so bad, let's make fun of him for being bad. I think the whole experience was like, yo, we have data in front of us, and this data doesn't make sense, right? This eye level,
that's
this
exactly
rating,
what it was.
This damage, this survivability, these don't fit into the equation, right? Like, I think it's just the fun of speculating, like, why?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It was like, what are we missing here? Because obviously we're missing something. Like, we gotta be. So, yeah, that was a weird one. I'm not even sure what was going on for that guy. So, but yeah, so that was my week. What have you been doing in the world of Warcraft?
The world of Warcraft. Well, we recorded those Warband episodes. That was fun. That was fun. It was different. Definitely outside of my norm, right? Like, usually I'm just like a speculative yapper or an opinion yapper. And so kind of going through and having to detail lore and do it well and do it accurately was a little nerve-wracking. It was fun, though. I had a good time. I hope that helped people out. It's always hard to tell, I think, if people like it or don't like it, because numbers tend to be down over holidays like that. Since people are off work, they're not commuting. Like, I haven't been listening to podcasts the last 2 weeks because I've been home. And usually podcast listening is like when I'm driving to work. That's when I'll like listen to a podcast or something. And I've been home with my wife, so I just haven't been listening to podcasts. So it's hard to tell if like our numbers down because people weren't as interested. Was it just because of that? But I think being able to do it and just be able to have the fun of doing it and record it, and ended up going a little too overboard with some of my notes and trying to make sure that everything was detailed. So we ended up doing 3 episodes instead of the originally planned 2 episodes, but it was just fun. It was fun to be able to do it. So I just want to thank everybody for letting us kind of experiment around. If it wasn't your cup of tea, thanks for letting us do it anyways. And if you benefited from it and you were able to learn a bit about what to expect in Shadowland, or not Shadowlands, in Midnight, I'm glad. I'm really glad that worked out, and that's awesome. So obviously we did that. Christmas was great. Both mine and my wife's families live like within like 8 minutes of our apartment, so it's easy to kind of go visit everybody relatively quickly. But I have been playing a lot of WoW with my wife, which has been really good. She loves player housing. Absolutely adores player housing. I got her a pair of headphones. I was gonna have you repair a jack on an old pair of headphones I had. I ended up just getting her a clean new pair of headphones, so she can play WoW and have headphones on. And so now we'll sit and voice chat together in Discord, even though we're in the same building.
That's kind of weird.
It's more convenient. It's more convenient, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, and just kind of like sit there and talk and game together, and that's been fun. We actually started doing like remix stuff. So when she started playing WoW with me, she hated questing. Hated leveling, hated all of that. She just was kind of holding out hope. One, I think she played the first time through because she knew that it would make me happy. And two, she was kind of holding out for whenever housing would show up because she loved the idea of player housing. So housing arrives and she starts playing. And she, of course, she loves housing. She loves player housing. And I gave her like a small loan of 25,000 gold to get started. And then she won a Christmas Advent giveaway in our guild, and so then she got like another 25,000 gold. So she's sitting on like a small pile of 50,000 gold, and has now just discovered the auction house and how the auction house works.
Oh no!
Right, and so she's like buying all her furniture off the auction house, and she blows through that 50,000 gold fast. I don't think at the time she realized that that's like a chunk of gold. Like that is a chunk. That is a chunk of gold.
50,000 is a lot of gold.
Yeah. And so she blew through that, and then she goes, "Hey, I'm out of gold. Can you like give me some more gold to buy stuff on the auction house?" And I was like, "Look, babe, I love you to pieces. This is not a great habit for me to be funding." Right?
You're like, "Here's like 10,000 gold," and she's like, "That's it?"
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. I think I won a little bit extra gold at the Stormwind Casino. Don't ask what that is. And I sent her some of my winnings. I think I made I won like 200,000 or something.
Jeez.
And so I sent her like another 50,000. So I did spoil her a bit. I do like this woman a lot. Okay, just to be fair, I really like this woman. She's amazing. And so if I can spoil her in WoW, perfect. And so but anyways, point being, she blows through all the money, and I'm like, look, you're gonna have to find other ways to get furniture besides just buying it all at the auction house, right? Like you can't just buy all of your furniture on the auction house. So she starts I got her an add-on that helps her go and find vendors, and then she'll find vendors and figure out what rep she wants. And so it first started doing remix stuff, and we did a whole bunch of that. And I'm about to cough, so Austin, stall real quick.
Yeah, remix is definitely a fun one.
Yeah,
I don't blame you for trying to get into remix because it's easy to level in remix too, so it's kind of like a win-win.
Yeah, so remix was really good, and so she leveled through that and has been collecting all the Suramar housing stuff, High Mountain housing stuff, and the
that's a good idea, to be honest.
And so she has lots of. She's just been so excited getting all her stuff. Now I think she's doing Mist of Pandaria questing to kind of get some of that stuff as well for her player housing. But that's been really fun, just watching her get so excited about that. But what I love is WoW, because I think we forget this sometimes because we play WoW so much. But WoW is a complicated game. There are a lot of elements, and it kind of just throws you into it. It's just kind of here you go. Figure it all out.
It kind of does.
Have fun, right? And so to have somebody come into WoW and be like, all right, listen, you got to go do quests. You got to do world quests. You got to go farm things and craft things. You have to go do dungeons. You got to make sure you go raid. You got to do a little PvP every once in a while, right? Like do some delves, right? Like it just kind of gets overwhelming. It can be a lot. And so what I had to learn with my wife was at first I was like, oh, I want to take you through all the things. Let's do all the things. And now it's just kind of like I wait until she feels the need to have to do something, right? So at first, she didn't really feel the need to do anything but housing. And then she felt the need to get some stuff from reputation grinds in Valshara. And so she makes a remix character, does that. Then she goes and does Suramar. And all of a sudden, she's enjoying questing. She's like actually having fun questing. And I'm like, okay, well, you hated questing before. She's like, I did hate questing before. But this time, it feels like I'm doing it for a reason. And not just because I have to get to level 80, right? But I'm actually doing it because I want the rewards that this will give me. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Preach.
So then I had to learn. Then I had to learn, right? Because I'm too smart. I'm literally the smartest guy who's ever lived. And so I'm thinking, okay, how do I use this to my advantage? So then I offer her, I'm like, hey, listen, I'll give you a couple thousand gold if you want to run an M0 dungeon with me. Boom, she takes the bait. She fell for it. She got scammed. Actually, I probably got scammed, to be honest. I'm probably the one who got scammed.
100%.
But anyways, so she ran a couple dungeons with me this weekend. That was fun. She was panicking the whole time, really worried that everybody's going to be upset with her. I'm like, nobody's going to care. Listen, they all know. This M0, people, like, this is what they're doing. Like, yeah. They're all here to learn. They know you're here to learn. That was when I told the group, it's like, hey, look, my wife's learning. We're going to go a little slow. I don't want to overwhelm her. I want to be able to explain mechanics and stuff. And then sure enough, the group's like, oh, well, this is slow for swag. I wouldn't want to be here when he's going fast. But it was fun. It was fun. I had a great time.
Although, I will say, you should have done Lemix dungeons, because then you could have had opportunities at getting player housing stuff.
We did do Lemix dungeons while questing.
Oh, okay, that's good. I was going to say, those would at least give you like an opportunity at getting like some player housing stuff, which is neat.
Yeah, she did some of those and got some of the rewards from them too. The only problem is like it's disappointing when you see a reward pop up and like 4 other people are also voting.
Oh, and then you got to roll. Oh my gosh, dude, I hate that so much.
Yeah. I mean, I like that I get to roll on something. It's always fun to roll, but then it's also
I always
not fun to lose. Yeah, not fun. Not fun to lose when you roll.
That's why you just run with a group. That way, you always give it to one person. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. Just solo it, get really good, and then solo it.
Honestly, I've thought about doing that as well.
Brilliant. Perfect. That's the plan. We're going with it. No changing now. Chicken's gonna go solo every dungeon in WoW for loot, for the housing decor. Bro, how's your house coming along, by the way?
That's pretty good. My wife, the same way, is like, hey, I want to get some, because my wife's been working on my house, and after seeing, your house and your wife's house, she was like, okay, I got to up my game. So she spent a little time over this weekend working, and she wants to spend more time.
Yeah.
She probably will. Maybe next weekend.
Yeah.
But again, she suffers from the same thing of just like, oh, I just need more items.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get a couple more items for her that she can. There's a couple of things that she wanted, so I was like, I'll try to like farm the stuff for it and get it for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like every time she gets into player housing, she learns like a new thing, and then like my house looks totally different than it has.
Dude, that's how it is
before.
though. That's how it is. I'm like, this weekend I like completely changed my approach to how I decorate my house. Like when I first started, I was like, okay, I want to have cool rooms, like big rooms that have like things like traditional housing things, right? Like here's like a area to sit around the fire. Here's like a table to eat some food. Here's a dresser, right? And then now what I found is the houses I get the most excited when I visit are the ones that are less open, right? Like a less open floor plan and just like lots of clutter. And I just find that those ones are the most exciting because there's just so much happening. And it's so like, it feels warm. It feels cozy. It feels lived in. But it also feels like, yeah, this is an adventurer who goes out and like travels the world, experiences things, collects things, brings them back, doesn't have a ton of time to like perfectly organize everything, but like it feels comfortable. Like that.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, that I don't know if you've seen how my house is right now, but that's what I've been working towards. Just trying to create that. It also means
I'll have to check it out.
It also means though that you end up using like a lot of items, and so I have had to find ways to get stuff.
That's the problem, and like I really want to rank up so that because my wife like did the outside and it looks really good, but she's like I ran out of like I can't place anything else, and I'm like, well, to get to the next rank, like I got to do a lot of either buying stuff off the auction house, which I don't want to spend like 100,000 gold just to get that many new items to rank up, or I just got to go farm like a ton of wood and like make them through crafting orders. And both of those are things that I don't really want to do. So I'm like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah. So, I think she's right on the edge of starting to do crafting. Not quite there yet, but she's been asking questions about it, trying to figure it out. I don't even know if she'll start crafting or simply just have learned that our guild mates can craft things for her if she gets the materials, right? And that's kind of been part of it, just like as you said, right, going out and farming all the lumber needed, which is, you know, it is what it is. Well, it's a lot of work. Lumber I feel like takes a little too long.
I wish I could see what she has in her inventory so that I could send her something that like I crafted or something.
That'd be sick. That'd be really sick. I wonder
like
if
there's a couple. What'd you say?
I wonder if there's a way to do that. Probably not, but that would be cool.
There's a couple things that like you can make that like are a little more expensive, like upwards of like 25,000 gold. Oh, wow. Maybe I should just make one and send it to her.
What Oh, she asked me the other day, dude. I didn't bring this up when I talked about it. So because again the auction house things get expensive, 25,000 gold for one item. So she asked me when she's trying to figure out how to make gold. And it's a good question. What she asked me was a good question. It's the question I would ask. It was just the question I was hoping she wouldn't ask. You know, she looks at me and she's like, "Hey, I need to get gold. How do you make gold?"
Oh no!
So I had to tell her.
And she was like, "Dude, why?"
No. It makes sense. It makes sense. I make my gold off of YouTube ad revenue. So whenever I get a payout from YouTube, I just pop a little wild token in there.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Dude, okay. Let me explain. Let me explain the logic behind that, right? Okay.
No, I know your logic behind it, but you can explain it.
Okay, yeah. Let me explain. Okay, first of all,
I know the logic.
First of all, I'm making WoW content, so I'm still making gold playing the game or talking about the game or whatever, right? I'm making, which by the way, my residual revenue's kind of gone down since I haven't made a video in a year, and so actually I need to this Friday I need to start making YouTube content again. I already talked to my wife about it. It's a big deal for this year that I get back into making content, because otherwise I can't get as much gold. I'm running low. WoW housing has decimated me, bro. WoW housing has decimated. But anyways, the point being, yeah. I've spent a lot of gold on housing. So anyways, and I need to build that gold back up for next season. So what my logic behind this, because I know people are listening, they're like, dude, is Swag saying that he buys wild tokens? Is that how Swag gets his gold? Is that what's going on? Here's the thing. There's so many ways to make gold. Okay? If you want to go out and farm a ton of lumber in game and craft something and sell it on the auction house and make gold, that's cool. I'm not going to judge you. I think it's lame, but I'm not going to judge you. I think that's super boring, but I'm not going to judge you. Okay, that's all very judgmental stuff. But anyways.
That sounds really judgy.
Yeah, that was a joke. So what I like to do is I play WoW and I make a video about WoW. And then I edit that video about WoW and I post it to YouTube, and then that makes me gold in game. And you're thinking, how's that make you gold game? Because I just take the ad revenue from that and then just buy a WoW token.
Buy WoW tokens, yeah.
Listen, if you want to go and farm trees for 4 hours, fine, go do it. I want to make a video for 4 hours, okay? Like, that's just more fun for me, right? Like,
no, I get
it. Yeah.
Like, I don't blame you. Like, I 100% agree that, like, that makes a lot of sense. And like your logic behind it makes a lot of sense of like, hey, like why would I spend 2 hours making not even as much gold as I could like make if I do something else for 2 hours? Like I get that, like 100%, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But the logic is it's funny when you say it out loud because it's like, wait, what? It's
I mean, like I'll share numbers. I'll share numbers right now, okay? Because it's embarrassing. These numbers are embarrassing, by the way. Again, I have not made a YouTube video in over a year. So I'm talking about something that I've like been super lazy on and I want to start again. A big part of it was, again, I met my wife, we started dating, then we got engaged. And so we were engaged for 6 months and then married for a little over 6 months now. And so really the last year has been just a massive life change for me. And I think I have the rhythm now. When we first got married, I think my wife was trying to figure out, it was less about my rhythm and I think more about her rhythm. Right. And like finding time and now those time pieces are clicking together. And so I have the time to do it again. But this is, again, I haven't made a video in over a year. Right. Have not made a video in over a year.
Really? Wow.
Yep. This month I made $8.62.
Oh, dang.
Again, have not made a video in like over a year. Right. And so the point of all of that is, and again, that's not much money. Right. Like $8 is like not much money.
No.
But I slowly save up those $8 from videos I made well over a year ago, and just kind of funnel that into WoW tokens, right? I don't take out like my actual like work paycheck or something, right? Like I don't want to do that. I don't want like that. I think now, so for some people, it's like sure, why not, right? If that's you, cool, that's awesome. My rule though I put was like not doing that, but rather like I want to do something that's specifically for the purpose of getting that token. But also, said thing has to be fun, right? Said thing has to be fun for me. So it can't be like, yo, I'm going to get a part-time job at the gas station on weekends to pay for it. That would be stupid because I would much rather at that point just be in WoW farming trees, yapping on Discord with my friends, right? Like, that makes no sense, right? But saying, hey, look, I'm going to go into WoW. I'm going to write a little script on how to do something in WoW. Record that video, post that video, make $10 off that video, right? That's 100,000 gold right there, right? Like, I know that sounds weird, but that's what I do. Also, it's at this point in the episode that I should put a disclaimer. Not a single penny from any podcast funding we've gotten has ever gone into swag buying WoW tokens or chicken buying WoW tokens.
Oh no, not at all.
Just want to clarify. A lot of that either goes to the hosting for the podcast. Like our Patreon helps massively cover the hosting costs for the podcast, and Chick and I are kind of putting some aside because we kind of do have some dreams of maybe taking our content to the next level and including like video elements in it and stuff. And so we hope to one day be able to do that and offer that. So that's a little bit of a separate side thing, but. Anyways, Chicken, that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been up to this week.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there's
also
not
I've been
like
sick, so that too. I keep muting my mic to sneeze, in case you're wondering about all these long pauses.
Yeah, you're mad sick. To be honest, there's not like a whole ton of WoW news. There's one thing that I was pretty certain that we did last year, but for the life of me, I could not find it. I listened to a couple podcasts of ours, and I could not find it. But I thought it'd be kind of neat to just go through, and I'll mark it like in our notes that like we did this, and if we're still doing the podcast, and at the end of 2026, maybe we can go back and look at these. But I thought it'd be cool to maybe just come up with maybe a couple personal goals that we'd like to achieve in WoW this year, and I already came up with mine, so I'm not going to put you on the spot to. Okay. Go ahead and launch a couple goals that you have. But I had 3 that I was kind of hoping to achieve in 2026. And they are pretty achievable. I don't like to try to make goals that are definitely like, oh, this is like a long shot. Like cutting edge rating is definitely not on my list because I don't think it's super achievable with my time schedule and the amount of time I currently put into the game. So obviously that's not on my list. But my list is as follows. The first thing I want to do in 2026 is I'd really like to get a PvP title. I think I've dabbled with PvP a couple times and I really enjoy it, but I've never just like full sent it towards the end of a season. So I'd really like to get a PvP title, and I'm not saying I need to be like, the top 1%, but I'd like to get like KSM equivalent for PvP, which I don't know what that is off the top of my head. But like the equivalent of KSM for PvP is what I kind of want to get.
Okay, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I think I've done enough PvP that I'm like, I just really like PvP, and I've never just full sent it yet, and I think I want to.
Yeah.
So that's the goal for some point in Midnight. We'll see if I can just full send a PvP season and see how good I can get at PvP. The second one is to main a healer one season, which that's pretty easy.
Yeah, but that'd be fun, dude. You should definitely do it.
It's pretty easy. I just gotta main a healer, right? But I want that notion of a different style of gameplay. Like I've seen you do it, and I think you really enjoyed it. Like this season probably for you would my guess would be probably your funnest season in the War Within, and maybe it was because you ran a healer, maybe it was just because there's other things going on that made it fun. But I think,
dude, I had a blast. I had a blast this season. Genuinely, playing healer was fun. And I mean, I was relying on my raid leader telling me to play healer, but I don't mind that, because that kind of forces me to say, oh, nope, that's the choice. I go with it, right? Yep. Like, you don't second guess yourself. You don't question it, because, hey, raid leader needs it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And
like, I'm part of the raid team, right?
Yep. That's my responsibility. I want to be on this team. I'm going to be a team player. If I had said, oh, I'm just going to play healer because I want to play healer, I probably would have slid back to my DK, right? Like, I would be like, nah, I'm just going to play DK again. And so I really enjoyed it. Do I think I enjoyed it so much because healing is better than tanking? No, I don't think so. Because now that I'm back to tanking, I'm having a blast tanking, right? Like, I really am enjoying it in dungeons. I think it's just for the last, 5 seasons, I played the same role primarily. So now it's just like, whoa, this is different. This is cool. And also, it kind of felt like a little bit of a rest, not having to be the guy who knows all the routes all the time.
Yeah, right.
Which was nice. But this was it the most fun season I've had? I don't know. It's hard to tell because, like, different factors, right? Like, even though I was playing a bunch, I was really enjoying the healer. My time availability has just been different. So, like, that's been a little different. But, and I know I'll let you get back to what you're saying. I kind of interjected, but I will say this was the season I achieved the most in M+ I've ever achieved.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty incredible. I mean, it definitely goes to show that there is, I don't want to say there was a limitation on your gameplay, but there's definitely like an element that you probably excel in healing. Not saying you don't excel as obviously as a tank, but
dude, honestly, confidence. The element was confidence. I can jump into a key as a healer and be like, oh, YOLO, let's see what happens. It's really hard for me to just jump in and YOLO on a tank. I get nervous.
Yeah.
I get nervous, right? Like, I know if I was running with the same groups I ran this season with, that I ran my high keys with as a tank, I would have been fine. But I was just so nervous because as a healer, it's like, oh, you guys do all the work and I just kind of clean up behind you, right?
Yeah, right.
But as a tank, you're kind of the spearhead, and that's a little scary. It's more the confidence than anything else.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think you're spot on with what you said. So yeah, those are the big two for me. Kind of like a third one that's not like super big, but I think it's achievable. And you kind of touched on it earlier. It's kind of funny. I'd really like to get my wife and or son kind of like involved in WoW a little bit. And my wife's kind of already there. But I think at some point it might turn into her wanting like her own thing in WoW and that. And like my son has watched me play a ton of times, and he definitely enjoys it. Watching me play. So how can I get them kind of wrapped in and have them enjoy?
That's a great question, right?
Little moments. So yeah, those are my three, and like I said, most of them are pretty achievable. The PvP one might be the hardest. So
It's
bear with.
good. It's good to have one challenge goal, right? Rather than like, and the nice thing for you too is like PvP is a good challenge goal when you have like a more sporadic schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart. That's very smart.
So that's my 2026 goals.
Perfect. Yeah, dude, I'll tell you, man. I love playing with my wife, and will she ever be as into it as I am? Probably not, right? She's not a hyper the hyper competitive stuff like would scare her and things, but just to be able to go decorate her house and be proud of it, and like, it's funny because she'll never ask people to check out her house, right? She'll never be like, "Oh, guys, come look at my house." Like that would embarrass her. But she gets so excited anytime somebody walks in and looks around. Like when a random guildmate just walks into her house, looks around, she's always like, "Oh, someone's looking at my house. I hope they like it." Right? Like she gets very excited. It's fun, right? Like, and I love like those other games like Animal Crossing. I played some Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I've played Stardew Valley before. Those games are great, but there is something extra special when it's just like, I'm building this house. There's almost unlimited freedom in what I do with that, and on top of that, like people can just come in anytime. Like as long as I have the settings on, like right, friends and whatnot can just poke their heads in and see what's going on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. For me though, if I were to talk about 3 goals, the first one I think would for sure be a content goal, right? I would love to. This one seems big. Maybe I'm overstepping. Maybe I should dial back a little bit. But if I were to dream big, I would want to do 1 YouTube video a week. I know we had just talked about it. It's been on my mind. I've been thinking about a whole bunch going to a new year. I'd love to get to a point where I'm making 1 YouTube video every week. And it doesn't have to be a complicated video. It doesn't have to be a highly edited video. Sorry, yeah. I'm trying not to sneeze. In the past, I would do like these like really edited videos with transitions, animations, and things like that. And those are cool. But obviously, I can't always keep up with that, especially on the weekly grind, especially trying to balance time with my wife. I want to continue streaming, right? Like I want to make my streaming a little bit more of a big deal. Right now, I'm just streaming on Friday afternoons, and I really appreciate that, and I enjoy it, but I miss some of the time I was able to do it. And part of the question I have now is like, okay, well, my wife enjoys playing WoW with me right now. Is that something that we do together, like that I stream and we'll just do content in the game together 1 night a week, right? And that could be really fun. So that's part of the conversation. But really though, can I get 1 video out a week? I would love to do that. I think that'd be really fun. Absolutely. And more guide kind of content, helpful content. I love being able to do that. And so that would be 1 goal. Would be like a content goal. I'd like to do KSL sometime this year on the tank. I mean, I know this seems like kind of weird, like I just got KSL, but as I said, I think it would mean even more to me if I got KSL on tank than when I got it on healer. I really do, because I know I tried a couple times already to do it, and I couldn't the last 2 times, and I really want to try it 1 more time as a tank next season and see what I can do.
Yeah, dude.
That would make me pretty hype. That would make me pretty dang hype if I could pull that off. So that'd be awesome. But if that one doesn't hit, I don't think I'd be as disappointed. But I like to do it. And then like the last goal, honestly, I want to just be able to find things that I enjoy doing. Maybe I'll copy you a little bit. Just find things I enjoy doing with my wife in the game, right? Not always doing like, oh well, this is what Swag likes to do. I want right like. I don't want to be like, oh, we both play the game, but we don't interact, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. If she just wants to go and farm plants and herbalism all day long, then I guess I'll pick up mining and follow along, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Whatever, right? Like, I just want to be around her. So, I think those three, right? Weekly content for YouTube, getting KSL on like a tank. And then just finding things that I enjoy doing with my wife in the game. It'll be really fun.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good list, brother. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, like I said, I tried so hard because I was like, I'm certain we did this last year, that we went through and like maybe set goals for 2025, but I could not find them. Like I listened to a couple podcasts that would make sense around that time. And I just could not find it. I was like, I'm so certain we did this.
I'm just going to assume that my goal last year was KSL, And so
100%. It definitely was.
Yeah,
and that was probably mine too, to be honest.
dude. Well, I guess you're out of time now. But
yeah, I didn't get it.
I would say flex. I would say flex. This counts as last year's season. So like you're still.
Oh yeah.
yeah. This is last year's season. So you're still good. You're still good for a little bit longer.
Speaking of, there's a couple things in WoW news, and then we'll get into our one question that we have. Obviously, we talked a little bit about pre-patch. Pre-patch is January 20th. So if you are looking to get any of the following Cutting Edge, Ahead of the Curve, Keystone Legend, Gladiator, any of those, you need to do it by the 20th. That's why I'm trying to make a big push for KSL before that. And that also includes Lemix. Legion Remix is going to end actually the 19th. I'm not sure why it's one day sooner, but it ends on the 19th. Another thing that I was able to look through that's kind of been big is there's a big Wowhead article that just kind of goes through and talks about every single class, every single spec, and what you need to know about the midnight beta and what I'm assuming is probably going to flow through into the pre-patch and kind of what class changes are being made for each individual spec. So if you want to find that, it looks like this article was posted 4 days ago as of Sunday.
Yeah, the article's titled Class Survival Guide for Midnight Beta. Or updated class survival guide for midnight.
Yeah, updated class survival guide. Yeah, so it looks like it was posted around the 1st of the year or the 31st of last year.
It's a helpful guide. I got to actually...
Yeah, it is. Oh, my goodness.
Moments before we started recording, by the way, maybe like 20 minutes before we started recording, I got a message from... I don't know if you remember this guy from back when we were doing like Minecraft streaming. But do you remember another streamer named Lil Exy?
Yes.
So he had actually just reached out to me again, completely unrelated. We knew each other back in like Minecraft content type stuff, but he reached out actually asking about WoW because he's been itching to get back into WoW, hasn't played in a long time, but wants to know for me because he knows I play a lot, if it's worth getting back into, especially with all the changes coming out in the new expansion. Because I think a lot of people are like dooming over these changes. I'm looking at that the updated class survival guide and. Yeah, a lot of abilities are cut. And I think that was his question. Like, hey, is there too much pruning that's just like not going to be fun? But the reality is I think it's going to be really fun. And I think right now there's actually a little too much button bloat and a little too much happening. And add-ons kind of cover up for some of that, right? They kind of help offload some of that brain power. And so I think with the removal of add-ons, also removing some of that bloat, I think it's going to feel really good. And that's why I told him, I said, honest answer, dude. I think it's going to be really good. I'm excited for Midnight. I'm excited to try out how classes feel kind of trimmed down. I know usually when you upgrade a game or you go to the next game, you want more abilities and more stuff, not less. But I think it's going to feel ultimately really, really good.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to kind of weigh down a lot of those expectations. Maybe some of those harder classes won't be as hard.
Yeah.
And I think it just frees up a lot of space on people's bars and just in general. So
I will say it is quite coincidental that I also happen to not be maining or continuing to main Resto Shaman going into next season. So
is it a lot easier?
Dude, Resto Shaman got gutted, bro.
Oh really?
Like absolutely. So if you look at the like Wowhead list of the like removed abilities or whatever, right? Let me see, like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
4,
I have it.
5,
I have it
6,
up. I'm trying to
7,
find
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 removed.
Oh dang! Yeah, I see that now. Holy cow!
Yeah, right. Most classes are like, here's 4 abilities that got removed, and then you look at Resto Shaman, and it's just like, oh, wow, what even is this class gonna be? And you know what?
What are you gonna do?
For all I know, it might be absolutely awesome, right? Like I just don't know. Like I haven't tried it. I haven't played it. I haven't heard the best of things. But let's find out.
Yeah.
So
this is the list. It came out, and definitely read over it. There was also
I saw you have something in there about weak auras, but I couldn't find any like articles when I did a quick search. So could you explain all of that?
Yeah, so there is a popular weak aura called Raid Ability Timeline
Okay.
that's now just becoming like a full-fledged add-on. And it kind of begs the question, and it's literally just kind of
Okay.
like a little thing that tells you like, hey, this is when abilities are going to happen. And it kind of counts them down like a lot better than like a DBM would.
Yeah.
It's like actively like, hey, like your soak is going to happen in 30 seconds, like, and you know, before that you're going to have this and this and this, right? And it looks like it was a weak aura kind of fledged thing, but now it's getting its own thing. And the question was, and kind of where I was seeing this and what brought up to my mind was, hey, where does this land with other things that weak aura does? Are we going to see more of these weak auras becoming add-ons? I don't know, but it's kind of a cool little side thing that happened that, hey, maybe we will see a lot of those popular weak auras become add-ons, you know?
Yeah, I've seen some others do the same thing
Difference
where
like that.
they've become just a full-fledged add-on. But it also
Yeah.
depends on like how flexible that weak aura was to begin with, right?
Yeah.
If it was a weak aura that you're like, oh, I always have this weak aura and I'm always using this weak aura, then like it makes sense as an add-on. Like totally makes sense. At the same time, though, there are like I think the thing I'm gonna miss with the weak auras is like random tracking of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Outside of combat, outside of combat, random tracking of things that. And even in combat, right? Like weak auras was nice because you would encounter an issue and you go into weak auras and just be like, blah 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 blah, and then you share it to your group real fast. Like you just like kind of quickly throw something together and share it to the group.
Right, yeah.
At like a raid or something, and you're good to go. And that to me was fun. That to me was way more fun than going and finding a weak aura someone else made. Because at least in that regard, it felt like it was our own doing. We created that as a group, right? But. I think we're going to see most weak auras go by the wayside. But some of those ones that are like, oh no, this is one that like everyone uses and they use it all the time. Those might have the weight, especially the complexity of them, right? Like the complexity of them. The people who make them probably know a good bit of coding and can pretty quickly whip up a real add-on.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think we'll see those kind of continue to see like a full-fledged add-on, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited for that. Like that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll find out, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I will say too, speaking of add-ons, I did come across a couple tools for player housing that I thought were pretty interesting.
Oh, really?
Wowhead. I haven't had a chance to really mess with it too much, but Wowhead has what they call the Architect tool, and you can now like test out things in your house. Like you can like load in your house into their Architect tool and then like preview stuff in your house to see if you like it or don't like it. I don't know exactly how. I mean, maybe it's like you test something out before you put all the work in to collect it or something. Because if you already have it, at that point, might as well just, like try it out in person.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, it's pretty new. And then the other add-on that I came across, and this add-on's like not that big of a deal, but I want to bring more attention to it because I think it's cool and I think more people should have it. I imagine Blizzard's going to bake this into the game at some point, probably at the start of midnight. I hope. I'd be disappointed if they don't. But I found it's an add-on called, I want to make sure I have it correct. It should just be called Guest Book, but I want to make sure that's actually what the add-on is called, and I'm not just like making that up, right? But I believe the add-on is just called, Guest Book for player housing, Guild and Friends. But yeah, if you just search Guest Book, he'll come up. And basically, it's an add-on that like when you walk in people's houses, you can type like /GB or /Guest Book, and then it'll bring up a little guest book that you can like sign and leave a note. So then that way, when I go into my house, I can open it up and be like, oh, who's visited recently? And I think if you have the add-on, it like automatically like tracks that or something. But anyways, all that to say, give it a try. Try out the add-on. I think the more people have it, the better. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty hype.
Yep.
I like that. I like that a lot.
All right. I think we have some listener questions coming up.
That we do.
So, before we get into the listener questions, I want to mention a few things real quick and real fast. My nose is stuffy, so we're going to try and get through these before I have to blow it. All right. First up, we have our Patreon. If you'd like to find a way to support the Warband podcast, if you enjoy our content and just want to kind of help contribute towards what we create, what we make, you can check out our Patreon. There's a link down below in the description. We really appreciate everyone who supports us through the Patreon. It is a huge thing for this podcast and helps keep us on air. So that is amazing. Also, we were talking about add-ons for a bit, but an add-on that we really love is called Zygor, and it's a guide add-on, right? So it has guides for pretty much anything that you would do in World of Warcraft, making gold, leveling, questing, whatever that you want to do. There's probably a guide in Zygor for it, and you can check that out with the link down in the description. That link supports us when you use it, as well as you can use code SWAGLOCK for an extra 20% off your purchase with Zygor. And then the last two things I want to mention. One, I talked about earlier, but I have been streaming on Twitch, and I would love if you all came and hung out with me on Twitch Friday afternoons, 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're at work and you're like, man, I could pull up Twitch and just kind of leave it in the background and leave some comments here and there. I would love to hang out and chat with you guys about anything WoW related. I just love yapping. I love yapping and keeping up with everyone who watches the podcast. So 2 p.m. Eastern time is about roughly when I go live. Sometimes a little before, a little after that. So keep an eye out. But that would be huge. And finally, I want to do more things with our Warband community. We have an amazing community, some awesome stuff happening. And so I want to encourage you to pop into our Discord. There's a link in the description to join our Discord that we have. And we are going to be hosting a housing competition very soon. So you'll be able to find information there for how to compete, how to win a little bit of a prize even. And we're excited for everybody to be a part of that. So keep an eye out for a Warband housing competition coming up soon. All that information, though, will be on our Discord. With that said, we have one listener question today. Chicken, do you want to read that question for me?
Sure thing. It's from guy Tiger Ace Ray. Another question for the regular podcast, referring to the lore band that we did. What expansions besides Legion, it seems it's coming at some point with all the added achievements during the War Within, do you think will create a meta achievement for like recent expansions? So basically, do you think they'll come out with more meta achievements for past expansions? I'm assuming. What do you think that expansion's meta will use for a mount and housing decor item? So I'm thinking he's asking, do you think they'll come out with them in previous expansions? Which I think they should. Why wouldn't they? I don't know. Maybe they won't. That seems like maybe some work. I don't know.
I think I'm hesitant that they will add, like that they'll retrospectively add in meta achievements into these
that's
areas.
probably fair.
But I do think we're going to continue to see them add more and more housing stuff themed after these zones, right?
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, right, like, yeah, sure, Midnight's going to be cool. And I definitely want some Midnight-themed housing stuff, especially regarding, like, Silver Moon and the Amani, right? Those themes would be awesome. But I also want more Wrath of the Lich King inspired stuff. More Scourge, more Lich King himself, Ice Crown Citadel, right? Like, I want things that feel very Nagrand, right? Like, I want some cool Nagrand Outlands type stuff. And so I really hope they just continue to add things just for sake of adding them, right? And I don't know if I want everything to be a huge meta achievement. Maybe it's because I'm lazy. But I would vouch that maybe housing stuff could be just a touch easier to get. Just a touch, please. Please, Blizzard. This is killing my bank account, man. Blizzard has forced me to start making content again. In order to pay my repair bills. So
Bro's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of gold and real life dollars because he doesn't know how to farm.
Dude, I am farming, bro. I'm farming views on YouTube.
Oh my gosh,
bro!
This guy.
Yeah, dude. I'm doing what you're doing. I just make it a little more complicated.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. All right, but everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Warband. Sorry if it's a little bit on the shorter side. I am dying over here, so please be praying for me. I'm not feeling the best, but we will have another episode out next week. If you have any questions you want to leave for the podcast for us to answer in next week's episode, you can jump onto our Discord, go to the pod questions channel, and put your questions in there. We love being able to answer those. But with that said, that is everything for today's episode.
Yeah, buddy.